So we were talking a little bit about leadership, and what I've noticed is that the role at the civic level and the provincial level has changed, that the responsibilities have dramatically increased. And is that something that you've noticed, where provincial members and mayors have to have a strong understanding of their communities and really be on the ball, even on social issues, which weren't the norm, say, 10, 15 years ago?
Absolutely. I mean, leadership comes in all kinds of forms. I've watched people in all walks of my life who've been able to lead people because they've been a great orator. They've been able to walk the talk. They've been able to advocate strongly for a cause or an issue or people. I think for me, leadership is formed in this fashion. It's about people, no matter where they come from, what their vision is, to be able to work with people. I pride myself in my whole life in making sure that if someone tells me they've got something that they need addressed, and frankly, because of my network, my relationships in my entire life, from every political spectrum, every business sector, every public service organization you can think of, what I was able to do was put all of the issues aside in terms of viewpoints per se, and make sure that people understood that I could pick up the phone. Great example, right now as we speak. There's a building here, a club. There's a club in the West End that was due to close at the end of this month. I got a call from the owner. He said, we're closed, we're going to lose 40 jobs, it's an institution, can you help? And I said, well, why is it going to be closed and what's the future? Well, it's going to be a housing project from the provincial government, the city. And I said, well, do we know whether construction's starting? He says, I don't know. So I called the Minister of Housing, and I called the ministry, and I found out that they're not starting construction until January. So I managed to get that place open for another 2.5 months and keep it alive and keep it open. And it's a very, very important part of the West End community. And I thought that is as simple as the way in which you can walk the talk. I mean, it's happening, it's a good thing. And more importantly, if that's my role, if I could have someone listen and more importantly act, then I think I'm doing my job.
Well, I think in this time in our lives, we're all very worried about the economy, and I think leadership becomes an even greater issue, because economic issues are no longer just about banks and institutions, they're about people and their families, and therefore social issues. And I'm sure that's something that you're hearing on the campaign quite a bit today.
Absolutely, absolutely. We don't have to look very far to remember that in the 1990s, our province was essentially bankrupt. People left, businesses left, education was down, and perhaps more importantly than anything, we were taxed to oblivion. And so our take-home was less than it ever was. I love the fact that this government says, no, it's not that. It's just what we're going to do. And I think people thought it was outside-the-box thinking for sure. First and foremost, you are the best person to spend your money. If you're going to entrust me as a politician to spend my money, make sure that you manage it well. So that means a surplus. That means that in a time like we are today, where the global economy is in turmoil, that this province is sitting with a surplus. Are we clean and safe in the future? All I know is that we have the opportunity to do two things. One is still build and diversify our economy, make sure that these tough times, that there's a safety net for the people who are less fortunate, and create jobs. Because at the end of the day, if we don't have a solid economy, we can't help people. We have to have, as President Clinton just said, if you are spending money you don't have, the entire house of cards comes down, and you can only look to the south, into the United States, to see what that's all about.
It's been so nice visiting with you today. Thank you so much for spending your time with us, and I wish you the best of luck on your campaign.
Thanks, Alise. Thank you very much.
You want to tell our viewers how to get hold of you?
Our office is 1062 Davie Street, for one, and secondly, our website is arthur.griffiths@bcliberals.com.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you're right in the neighborhood, so easy to get to,
right in the heart
or
of
you're
the...
just a click away.
Absolutely.
That's
Thank you.
great. Thanks, Arthur. Take care.
Thanks again.